a righteous protection.
What is going on, fam? Welcome back to the second installment of the Let Me Make Your Gameplay Better series. We're going to talk about these attributes. Now, you can adjust them in the superstar management of the roster area. I'm choosing to do it through the movesets just so I can show you moves and get you a better understanding of why certain things are the way they are. When functioning correctly. First off, 2K19 does a better job. 20 is just a freaking goof troop. It's, if you watch the CPU play matches, first off, count how many times they Irish whip each other. Then count how many times they run into each other instead of actually hitting the move, or they miss the move. This game just, anyway, I ain't gonna talk about that. This will be like a 3-day long video. So, attributes theoretically play a big part in the way a superstar acts and reacts. This is definitely the biggest portion of the pie on the make the game play better graph. You know, we still got hit point ratios, personality traits to go, and those tie in and help, but this is definitely a big part of it. Now, what I've done is research and development, play test, and trial and error through each and every one of these. No, it's not going to play exactly the way you want it to. You might have one match where you like, wow, it played just like I felt like it should by the way I set things up. Then turn around the next match and it'd be the complete opposite. Because this AI is garbage trizash, that's the way it is. So these are directly transferable to 19. I know somebody gonna ask, but there's still a couple of things that are different in 19. So I'll still make another video for that, just to help y'all out. So, what I do and what I've done is I've built me a baseline, a foundation that I work off of. And I built everybody up from that baseline so that now, if I need to change anything, I can go through, tweak, and fine-tune things, and it's not an issue. What I like to do offensively, each person, they get 2 maxed out attributes on the offense, whether it be arm power, leg power, grapple, running offense, aerial offense, or either of the submissions. Typically with me, if it's somebody got the aerial maxed out, they usually get the springboard that kind of goes with it. Aerial range, everybody gets maxed out, because when you go up to the one thing that this game is notorious for is missing aerial moves, so I make sure to keep that maxed out so people get a better chance of landing said moves. But get 2 maxed out. As you can see, leg power. Now, why is that? First off, leg power, leg power, leg power, leg power. You know what I'm saying? See, you look at who you're dealing with. Look at the majority. What's the majority of their offense? You know, you take it a step further, leg power, leg power, leg power, leg power, leg power. See what I'm saying? You kind of understand now with how to set these attributes. So then you might be thinking, well, shouldn't I just boost up all of them that apply? No. Do not do that. For some reason, when you turn everything up from matches that I've watched, it makes the match worse, which is why there's a balance to it. So you see leg power, that's one of his maxes, absolutely. The other that you see in most of his offense is running offense and grapple. So when I only use one of the max, the other max is broken down. So it's broken into 2. So instead of 1 being maxed out, you get 2 grapple and running, but they're not maxed out. They get a -10 from being maxed because I split the max in half. You see what I'm saying? Now, if Adam Cole was a straight up striker and I needed arm and leg power, well, then that leg power would go to 80 and that arm power would go to 80. Depending on what type of universe you got, if you got all current, say you got an older, say Kurt Angle come back, or Goldberg, or even Taker, you know, anybody that's a little older, then I would even with one of their maxes being split in half, I wouldn't pull that to 10 out. I would turn that into 20 out because they are older and you want that to be reflected. So, I mean, you can go with more maxed out. You can go with one maxed out. That's up to you personally, but I go with 2. And when I have to split one between 2 sections, I pull it back by 10. Now, everything else, for all of the research and the trials and error and playing I've done, 65 is where I like to be for everything. So you see, arm power 65, aerial offense 65, springboard 65. Both his submissions, because neither one of them needs to be maxed out because he's not a submissionist. He doesn't use a submission as a finisher. 65. Environmental offense is up to you. I use this to boost up overall if I need to, because I don't let my matches get out the ring at all unless it's just, you know, that type of main event or pay-per-view, because the AI is so incredibly fundamentally ignorant that when they get out the ring, they throw each other back and forth, they throw each other into the goal post, the ring post, and they throw each other into the steps until it's usually a double count out. That's how stupid this AI we're dealing with is. 2K19, they get out the ring, fight, beat each other up, no problem. Reversal offense, I put up to about 75. I max out the amount of reversals. Yes, I do. Originally, I didn't use the number of reversals. I cut that off, but I've since learned to use that, and it balances out better. Now, with the strike, grapple, and aerial reversals, you get 1 max. With him, he's a little more strike based, so I gave him max out on the strike reversal. 65 for grapple and aerial. And yes, if you play 19 in this, you know on 19 you could easily 1 by 1 the number. On here it goes up and down, back and forth. It's harder to get it right on the number you want to get to, so I just get close. Durability, I usually go between 60 to 65 for the guys and 50 to 55 for the women. And that too, think about certain people. I adjust, number one, based on what's going on in your universe mode. If somebody got an injury and they just came back, well, if Adam Cole just came back off a neck injury, that head durability is probably going to be about a 45. You see what I'm saying? But you still, with these here, you've got this base, so you can adjust it with no problems. Damage recovery, 50. Now you see he's not a submissionist, so his submission defense is both 65. Pin escape, 70. Strength, I max out. And I only do that because of weight class. That way, specifically with cruiserweights. If it's cruiserweight versus cruiserweight, you got one, Tony Nese, he's on the very top end of cruiserweight in terms of size. Jack Gallagher, he's towards the lower end in terms of weight. But I also want them to be able, if they got a match with a light heavyweight, to not have a problem, because I use simulation for the weight detection in my universe. So that is up to you. I like to max mine out because I want to make sure, but also weight detection takes effect. It's supposed to be 2 weight classes above, So cruiserweights should be able to lift light heavyweights. Light heavyweights should be able to lift heavyweights. And heavyweights can lift everybody. But I've seen matches where that didn't matter. Seen a match where a cruiserweight could not lift the light heavyweight. Come to find out, because his strength was low. So I want to make sure that works correctly for the vast majority of the time. Now, stamina and stamina recovery. Got a baseline for that. Cruiserweights, 55 and 45. There's a 10-piece difference between the stamina and the recovery. And it goes down by 5 off of weight. Cruiserweights, 55, 45. Light heavyweights, 50-40. Heavyweights, 45-35. Super heavyweights, 40-30. And I built that off of super heavyweights being their stamina recovery being a 30, being the lowest. Momentum, turn it all the way down. Man, if you turn that momentum up to anything past 50 and they have a comeback, oh my goodness, you're going to see a comeback in like the first 2 minutes. Agility, all that's got to do with is climbing the turnbuckle. Make sure you read what it tells you it does, because I know some people, what does this do, bro? It tell you right there. Just read it. So that's kind of up to you. Once you get to like, especially when it's 100, once you get around 80, 85 is when they start just hopping up there. So keep in mind who you want to be able to do that. Movement speed is the same. Strike speed, grapple speed. One of those gets maxed out, depending on the person. And then, of course, there's a lot of guys, I split it, and they get 75, 90, or 80, 90 chain wrestling. I did not use chain wrestling for the longest time because it seemed like every match, everybody was chain wrestling. And that was, of course, before I started fooling with all of this. Now, I turned it up. Y'all saw in the set, just maxed out, turned up to the max. And based off real life wrestling ability, this is changed and it factors in as well, and it works. It actually works. Imagine that. There's a couple of factors that you want to take into consideration as well, and that is not just, say, Daniel Bryan, where you know his is going to be maxed out because he's a technical master, but take into account size. If you chain wrestling with the Big Show, well, yeah, his needs to be maxed out too, because, you know, he's freaking strong and huge. So look at size and weight when you factor stuff in too. Don't just go off of, oh, well, you know, he's a brawler, he's got more technical prowess, stuff like that. And it'll help you better understand. So that's it, man. It's not that difficult. You know, the hardest part was getting a base for me to build on. That was the most difficult aspect. Once I got that base down, and y'all seen me on Twitter, y'all know how long it took for me to go through and adjust to everybody. But everybody's got the base, and now I can build off of that. I can build however I want to. I can change it, you know, injuries and whatnot. And also, you'll notice, in your universe mode, momentum adjusts itself depending on champion, whether or not they're a champion, their push, all of that. Number one contender, all of the rankings, that momentum changes. So keep an eye on them during your universe mode because they do change. So yeah, that's it. We halfway there. All we got left is personality traits and hit point ratios. Any questions, y'all know where to find me. Hit me up and ask me. I'll explain a little better in depth if I need to, but you know, just a overall, pay attention to their SIGs and finishers and really what type of wrestler they are and what they utilize the most. You want min-maxing is the best way to go. Don't try to give everybody, oh, well, no, min-max. Don't try to balance it out because then everybody's going to be the same thing. At least with the way that I do it with the baseline, everybody doesn't function the same way, nor should they. So keep that in mind. Any questions, anything, hit me up. Make sure if you ain't subscribed, hit that subscribe button, click that bell to enable notifications, drop a like on this video, let me know if you like these videos, if they're helping you out. Leave a comment, get in the conversation, hit up that Patreon, Big Righteous, sponsor the channel, $3 a month. Facebook Gaming, yeah, add Big Righteous, same thing. Get over there, like that page, follow that page, because some of the stuff is going over there. It would be exclusive to that page. So, y'all know what it is, man. Keep it real, live righteous.